Heather Thomas is an actress, writer, and political activist with a fortune of over $2 million. Photo 1978. Joey Lansing, American actress, photo model, and singer. Photo shoot 1952. From the early 20th century, somewhere in the Northeast, comes this 4x5-inch glass negative with the caption, "LK Bicycles at Spring." New York circa 1912. The big buildings of Lower Manhattan. Wyoming baseball is all it says on this 4x5 negative, from the same batch of glass plates as these college lads. San Francisco circa 1925. Cunningham Auto and Chorus Girls. A little of everything going on here: vaudeville, car trouble, assault. December 4th, 1937. Washington, D.C. Correct way to bake turkey. H.E. McClure, of the Bureau of Husbandry, tests the turkey meat for odor. November 26, 1929. Thanksgiving turkeys for the President. Washington, D.C. Thanksgiving 1919. Once this chilly-looking fellow is properly dressed and warmed up in the kitchen, he'll have an honored place at the family table. Circa 1922 in San Francisco. This aging Chalmers touring car needs a new shoe. Since we're at the Maxwell Chalmers dealer, why not take a look at the new models? December 1934. No elephant toys for First Lady. Mrs. Roosevelt, on a Christmas shopping tour, had a hard time convincing Santa Claus that she did not want a toy elephant, a symbol of the Republican Party, as a Christmas present. From around 1910 comes this 5x7 glass negative showing a rail car fitted with what? Scranton, Pennsylvania, circa 1901. Board of Trade and Linden Street. Completed in 1896. Circa 1945. The Future Life magazine photographer Tony Link and two close associates. I purchased this 8x10 photo at a swap meet. On the back it says, L.R. Wally Miles, Jackie Regard, Francis Willems. San Francisco circa 1922. Army car with carriage-mounted searchlight. A military-grade Cadillac at the Presidio next to an aircraft hangar. Six exposed plates at Father Glasser's camp on Sunday, October 12, 1902. The only plate remaining in the original box of 12, this would seem to show a mission or church camp south of the border. Circa 1920. Set pieces, Arlington Hotel, including a polar pastry snowball iced with Cookpiri 1909. Washington, D.C., 1919. Red Cross Vocational Education, Dietetic, Morse School. San Francisco circa 1925. Film star Mae Murray and Wessenberg Auto. (1927) New York City views Long Beach, with more than a few examples of street clothes in the sand. San Francisco circa 1930s. Locomobile 90 Victoria sedan, with a factory price of $7,300. This giant Series 90 Victoria came at the end of the road for the revered Locomobile brand. Lohler, GWU, 1920. Johnny Lohler, formerly of Tech High, now a Hatchetite's gridiron star. April 1942. Drummer Red Saunders and his band at the Club de Lisa, Chicago. From circa 1910 somewhere in the Northeast comes this 5 by 7-inch glass negative labeled Cooks and Kitchen. San Francisco or thereabouts circa 1919. Chalmers touring car, at what seems to be a deluxe cow barn. August 27, 1935. Congressional Pages Mr. Sandman. Fred Johnson of Wyoming and Howard Osman of the District of Columbia. Congressional Pages, photographed as they snatched a bit of shut-eye while the House and Senate brought the session to an ignominious adjournment. Circa 1905. Launching of the Detroit Yacht Club. Actress Kathy Shower, 1975. San Francisco circa 1923. Buick touring car at Victor's Dog. San Francisco, 1934. Fisk Service Garage. So, mister, you say it pulls to the right? Merry Christmas from the family. Actor Chuck Connors, his wife Betty and their sons Jeffrey, Stephen, Michael and Kevin circa 1960 at their home in Los Angeles. March 22, 1941. Pontiac and Mount Davidson Park, San Francisco. So if a tree falls on a convertible in the woods. (1924) Ario Taxicab, San Francisco. Why Uber when you can Rover? January 1943. Freight operations on the Chicago Northwestern between Chicago and Clinton, Iowa. The crew, with exception of the firemen, chat while waiting for orders to pull out. Washington, D.C., circa 1935. Children playing, with a cameo appearance by our old friend Turnbuckle Star. Graham Page Sedan, San Francisco. It's a beautiful sunny day in 1929. What could go wrong? Mill Valley, California, circa 1925. Nash touring car with trailer, outfitted with a patriotic profusion of flags. (1909) Midwinter Carnival, children's parade with dogs sled. Upper Saranac Lake, New York. August 1941. Stockman on street corner outside Bar the Mint, Sheridan, Wyoming. October 1919. California Highway Motor Train in San Francisco. A publicity stunt showcasing the nascent field of long-distance trucking as facilitated by the giant pneumatic tire. February 21, 1924. Washington, D.C. McLeod robbed. M. Clancy. So what's going on here? Blue Earth Skating Pond, January 6, 52. This slide by Hubert Tuttle opens the winter edition of Minnesota Kodachromes. Hot chocolate, anyone? San Mateo County, California, 1924. Daily City Deputy Health Officer and construction trucks. Also the quarters of the constable, not to mention oil and greasing. Taken near Pikes Peak, Colorado, my great-grandfather's brother, George W. Downing, poses with his wife, family, and one great automobile. New Orleans circa 1880s to 1890s. Street in the French Quarter. San Francisco, 1924. Flint Roadster at golf course. Detroit, CA, 1903. Children's Playground, Belle Isle Park. Please note, children only. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Michelle Bauer is an American actress, a bikini-clad beauty posing in a bikini in 1980. English former glamour model Gail McKenna, 1989. English model and actress June Wilkinson, 1969. February 1936. Washington, D.C. Heated taxi cab. Sure, but can you summon it with an app? March 16, 1897. USS Brooklyn, Office of Executive Officer. Note the ancient typewriter. Toledo, Ohio, circa 1901. Toledo Club. Convenient to the Steinway store and quarters. (1919) vehicle at Fire Hall. Copied onto a circa 1950s sheet of Eastman X-ray film. January 1897. USS Brooklyn, First Sergeant, Marine Corps. Grace, Sally Hubert, September 18th. 1951. The latest episode of Minnesota Kodachromes finds the Tuttles out enjoying a fine sunny day. (1935) Washington, D.C. View looking down from U.S. Capitol Dome, West Front. San Francisco, 1921. Saxon Auto and Fishing Boats. Another automotive brand not long for this earth. World War veteran Bonus Expeditionary Force. Seen from the Bonus March on Washington, when thousands of veterans converged on the Capitol in 1932 to demand cash redemption of their World War I service certificates, a bonus that wasn't supposed to be paid until 1945. The Pacific Northwest in 1918. Kissel Military Highway Scout Car at Sunset Lodge. July 1913. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Gettysburg Reunion, GR. UCV veterans at the encampment. Kissel Military Highway Scout Car. From somewhere in the woodsy Pacific Northwest comes the Scout Car, with 1918 Washington State dealer plates. (1916) Dolly's sister with Buzzer the cat, portrait photograph. One of the Dolly sisters, Rose and Jenny, twin vaudeville stars from Budapest who made it big in America. San Francisco circa 1910. W. Montague Company plumber with water heater and bathtub. San Francisco. 1934 Federal Truck, City Ice Delivery Company. A business that was melting away. From somewhere in New England in the 1940s comes this uncaptioned 4x5 AGFA negative of three happy guys and their Ford truck. New York, 1944. Pawnbroker and prospective customer. I imagine the idea here was to convey the wholesome, cheery atmosphere of the typical pawn shop. July 21st, 1923. Water conduit. Part of the Washington, D.C. aqueduct system, along what used to be called Conduit Road. Circa 1908. Broadway and Grand Union Hotel, Saratoga Springs, New York. The Bay Area in 1918. Service truck and greens. Eucalyptus trees and some sort of leafy vegetable. circa 1918. The heart of Detroit. From 1912 or later comes elderly man in rocking chair, watching the world go by from the vine-covered porch of his cozy cottage, erected AD 1901 at 479 Main Street. Circa 1900 in parts unknown. Seth Lamb at Wills. f4.53.5 F Kodak. Washington, D.C., 1928. Going out on a low note. Women with contrabass tuba is all it says here. August 1912. Campus Martius and Detroit Opera House, with much interesting signage. San Francisco circa 1920. Peerless touring car, along with what could be a demonstration of either aerodynamics or sobriety at the start of Prohibition. Actress Kathy Shower, adorable photo 1975. Circa 1900. Letty's Girl with Bicycle and Dog. Circa 1900. Back at the Handlebars Homestead. Letty's Bikes. f5.6 no filter 2 inch shirts is what it says on the sleeve. May 1943. Bethlehem Fairfield Shipyards, Baltimore, Maryland. Liberty Ship Construction. Welding on a hatch assembly at night. Northern California in 1924. Willis Night touring car on dirt road. Floyd at Folks, January 20th, 1952. In this latest installment of Minnesota Kodachromes, Floyd shows that warmth and style need not be mutually exclusive. New York circa 1905. Circus at Luna Park, Coney Island. From the early 1900s comes this nightshirt posse of college men, possibly in Wyoming. 3 cheers for old Pimento U. This was taken in Provincetown, Massachusetts. All I know about it is the year and location. Detroit circa 1911. Dime Savings Bank under construction. From circa 1900 in parts unknown comes this 4x5 glass negative of G.H. Wood Jeweler, the business, and possibly a wood or two. Pages on Fillmore Hill at Broadway, San Francisco in 1926. From circa 1900, somewhere in North America, comes this glass negative labeled Letty's Women on Swing. From around 1952, what looks to be somewhere in the Northeast, comes this faded 120 ectochrome of a city's service gas station. Washington, D.C., 1935. Woman at Western Electric telephone switchboard. The Bay Area in 1920. Dodge Auto on Boardwalk. The Dammer on Miller Tires coast to coast. December 1942. Production. B-17 heavy bomber. The four mighty engines of a new B-17F, Flying Fortress, bomber warm up at the airfield of Boeing's Seattle plant as another warship of the air awaits its flight test. Letty's Ma and Tot. From around 1900, it's Miss, or Mrs., Handlebars again, and our third look at her house, along with another look at the baby. New York circa 1912. Wall Street with view of Bankers Trust Building and Trinity Church. (1910). Dalton All-Star Baseball Team Elm Street Field, Dalton, Penna. San Francisco, 1920. Diamond T Truck, DeLand's son Draymond. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. The Stunning Heather and Thomas, 1979. American actress, singer and former model Apollonia Cotero, 1978. charming actress Margaret Rose Keel, 1966. Washington, D.C., circa 1926. George Washington U. Who'll be first to recognize one of these anonymous alums? December 1941. White Motor Company, Cleveland. A half-track Scout car gets a touch-up job on the chassis assembly line. A durable finish protects the metal and helps to bring the vehicle up to Army standards of smartness. (1925) Indian Guides and Nash Auto at Covelo Stables, Mendocino County, California. From Marquette, Michigan, comes this glass plate dated 1890 and labeled Peterson. Say, I'll bet you kids have never been on the internet before. The Bay Area in 1923. Peerless touring car. Fully equipped with 2 spares. August 8, 1925. Washington, D.C. Klansmen sightseeing at the Capitol. Circa 1917. Jordan touring car. Sweetheart, we're out of gas. And by the way, do we want kids? Like 19 of them? Our fourth and final look at this muddy motor car. Washington, D.C. Congressional Ballgame, 1918. If the baseball equivalent of a filibuster is the no-hitter, their fans went home disappointed. New York, 1930. Margoli's Betty Miss Profile View. (1925) Overland at Land's End and Lincoln Park Golf Course. Washington, D.C., 1927. Congressional Pages Senate Basketball. Washington, D.C., 1925. Ford Motor Company A.P. Woodson Company Coal Truck. Circa 1905. Lakeshore Caboose. Yet another negative we bought years ago for 99 cents from someone in Ohio. We may not know the name of the photographer, but we know what he looks like. circa 1898. League Island Navy Yard, Philadelphia. USS Brooklyn spar deck. The Bay Area circa 1917. Jordan touring car. Our second look at this intrepid couple, motoring along a freshly plowed highway in their 7-passenger luxury car. Washington, D.C. or vicinity, 1923. Getting ready for Halloween, and it's nobody's business where he got the pumpkin. Washington, D.C., circa 1927. And no caption, man with skull display. Friends of the family, no doubt. Two people just minding their business who find themselves staring into the ravenous maw of the internet. Names, location, photographer unknown. From around 1905 comes this grimy 5x7 glass negative that Shorpy bought years ago, but never got around to scanning till today. On the piano, that old toe tapper, Roosevelt's Grand March. 1954. Merrill Lynch account executive chalks up current stock prices on quotation board in firm's new mobile office. Long Beach, California, Bathing Beauty Parade 1927. August 1942. New York. Window of a Jewish religious shop on Broome Street. October 1939. Boys from Dead Ox Flat waiting for the school bus in the morning. Malheur County, Oregon. Picnic at Austin, Minnesota, September 7, 1952. Although the trees are still green and it's technically still summer, the native fauna's coats are thickening, ready to blend in when autumn arrives. San Francisco, California, 1920s. Young man on Harley-Davidson motorcycle, California State Automobile Association broken glass department patrol. San Francisco circa 1917. Jordan touring car with children. Goldie Hawn is an American actress, producer, director, and singer. Photo shoot 1968. July 1940. Quick photos at the Fiesta at Taos, New Mexico. July 1940. Quick photos at the Fiesta at Taos, New Mexico. Washington, D.C., circa 1919. Organ grinder with a custom-fitted organ cover. Manhattan, circa 1906. Trinity Building in Broadway, New York. September 1938. WPA, Works Progress Administration, workers' children with toys in their play yard. South Charleston, West Virginia. This was a party thrown for my mom and dad, who are somewhat lost in the background, behind the cut-ups in front. At the house of a friend in South Pasadena, 1954. Washington, D.C., 1925. Ford Motor Company Consumers Company Coal Truck. Circa 1925. Man pointing at California State Automobile Association signage. Woman with pennant reading Booze the Redwood Highway. Northern California, circa 1927. California State Automobile Association Official Mechanical, First Aid and Towing Service Station. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut, where Southington folk buy their magazines. Photo by Fenno Jacobs for the OWI. March 15, 1917. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Manly Creason, 914 West 6th Street. Messenger number 6, McKay Telegraph Company. Says he is 14, school records say 13. Says he has steady job, been a messenger for years. Get $15 for 2 weeks pay. September 1952. Republican presidential candidate Dwight D. Eisenhower campaigning in the Midwest. Includes Eisenhower on a whistle-stop tour, in motorcades and addressing large crowds at political rally in South Bend, Indiana. (1942) Effect of gasoline shortage in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., circa 1935. Post Office Department Building. Old, far left, and new Post Office Department. San Francisco in 1920. Oldsmobile touring car. Its dapper driver signaling either hello or a right turn. circa 1901. The Firs, New Baltimore, Michigan from west. Our fourth look at this summer resort, where two ladies are setting out in the Surrey with the fringe on top. Circa 1912. Foundation for retort house, construction for Detroit City Gas Company. May 1920. Yosemite National Park. Prize Cup, 4th Annual AAA Economy Run, Los Angeles to Camp Curry. Circa 1905. Union League Club Building, Cleveland. See you tonight in White City at the Hilarity Parade. Floyd Loren Dottie Boots at Folks, January 20th, 1952. From the shores of Lake Wobegon comes this latest installment of Minnesota Kodachromes. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Elsa Sorensen, famous photo model, 1957. The enchanting and beautiful actress Samantha Fox, 1988. Pretty actress Heather Thomas, 1978. (1899). Blizzard 99 on the streets after a New York blizzard. San Francisco, 1929. Hudson Super 6. Strangers when they met, until he took her for a ride. Washington, D.C., 1925. Snow removal Ford tractor. A teaspoon at a time. Somewhere in San Francisco circa 1919. Ford Motor Truck Kruger Company. Boxes. March 13, 1942. Bell Telephone Laboratories, Murray Hill, New Jersey. Lounge to window. Voorhees, Walker, Foley Smith, Architects. December 27, 1923. Donnelly Cadillac Agency, corner Van Ness O'Farrell, and a Model V63 Phaeton, approximating closed car comfort with a variation on the California top. San Francisco, 1932. Cadillac Agency. Any corner Van Ness O'Farrell. The monumental exterior of Downley Cadillac. Note the Islam, fezzes of these Masonic potentates. This is me in the summer of 1958 in Bedford, Quebec, during that year's hula hoop craze. As you can see, Mom sure did dress me in a weird way, button-up collar, full cuffs and elastic band pants. Our Cocker Spaniel Cindy is in the background. Washington Dramatic Club about Thebes. One of the players in an Egyptian-themed charity benefit staged at the Belasco Theater in April 1909 for an audience including President and Mrs. Taft. San Francisco, 1925. California State Automobile Association. Wrecked Peerless being hauled at hospital on Broadway between Van Ness Polk. June 1942. Wairika, California, seat of a county rich in mineral deposits. Circa 1910. Surf bathers at crowded beach, possibly Atlantic City. Golden Gate International Exposition, San Francisco, 1939. Transportation Hall. July 8, 1939. Golden Gate International Exposition, San Francisco General Motors Day badge held by Miss Fisher Body. August 28, 1939. Golden Gate International Exposition, San Francisco. General Motors exhibit of GMC trucks with Pan American Airways Clipper ship at Treasure Island. Bay Bridge in background. Circa 1920. VPI Cadet Company B. The Men of Virginia Polytechnic Institute in Blacksburg. Circa 1920. VPI Cadet Company B. The Men of Virginia Polytechnic Institute in Blacksburg. New York circa 1948. WCBS Broadcast Studios, 49 East 52nd Street. San Francisco, 1921. Antique Cadillacs still running. On the left, a 1902 Cadillac that's 19 years old, if you can believe it. Next to mere 16er with 200k miles on the clock that seems to be in far worse shape. San Francisco, 1931. Cord Roadster at golf course. Living it up in the depths of the Depression. New York circa 1948. WCBS Studios, 49 East 52nd Street. broadcasting in AM and FM. Mobile, Alabama, circa 1906. Cotton Exchange. A building with boku bling, note the crown top bales signifying you know what. San Francisco circa 1930. Hudson Auto with schoolgirls. Waving yearbooks, titled The Telescope. November 1921. This is the delicate machinery being installed beneath the Arlington Amphitheater, which will amplify the President's voice 1,000 billion times when he makes his address on Armistice Day in honor of America's unknown warrior. New York, 1949. AP Supermarket on Broadway in Queens. Now playing at the Strand. Alan Ladd and Whispering Smith. New York, 1946. Garcia Grande Newsstand. With the freshest issues of Flip, Nifty, and Laugh. Photo 1960s. Charming girl posing. August 6, 1924. Joseph Frank, illegible, at White House with album for autographs. No caption survives for this view of a circa 1920 Maxwell, but we would guess it had something to do with the car's excellent brakes, or maybe its triple-strength spring steel bumper. (1906) Post Office, Montgomery, Alabama. Municipal dungeon, basement level, open daily 9 to 3. July 1936. Going to church to pray for rain. Grassy Butte, North Dakota. December 1936. Seen along Bathgate Avenue in the Bronx, a section from which many of the New Jersey homesteaders have come. April 8, 1936. Pontiac convertible at Spreckles Lake, Golden Gate Park, San Francisco. April 1924. Washington snow scenes. Funny, this doesn't feel much like April. San Francisco circa 1922. Dodge Brothers touring car. New York's 43rd Street, just off Times Square, circa 1950. Hotel Dixie, 700 rooms, each with bath and radio. Washington, D.C., 1917. Auto wreck. Our fourth look at this motoring mishap on Embassy Row at Massachusetts Avenue and 21st Street Northwest. Detroit, circa 1910. Chamber of Commerce, State and Griswold Streets. With the Hotel Richter and B. Siegel Department Store on State Street in supporting roles. Circa 1901. Excursion steamers Tashmoo and Idlewild at wharfs. San Francisco, circa 1928. DeSoto sedan. Grace Hubert, February 17, 1952. In this latest episode of Minnesota Kodachromes, Grace's smile lights up a gray winter day. San Francisco, circa 1925. Advertisement for the good Maxwell, built by Chrysler Engineers. Rochester, New York, circa 1905. Granite Building, Main Street, St. Paul. Washington, D.C., 1922. Football is all it says here, so we're calling it incomplete until someone comes up with a name. (1937) Woman demonstrating remote control safety shift gear lever in 1938 Pontiac sedan. September 14, 1932. Goodyear Service Station opening, Mission Street at 11th, San Francisco. New York, circa 1921. New York Band Instrument Company, East 14th Street. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. The stunning Yvonne Curry of the 1980s. The enchanting and beautiful actress Heather Thomas, 1979. German actress Pretty, Margaret Rose Kiel 1964. Washington, D.C., 1924. Dog catcher. Thwarted, at least for the moment, by jurisdictional issues. April 17, 1935. Pontiac convertible coupe at Tanforan Racetrack, San Bruno. This fine filly looks like a mutter. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. George Washington Inn, C Street, S.E. Goodyear Girls Bathing Beauties in San Francisco, September 14, 1932. November 15, 1908. Los Angeles Pacific Railroad fire, 4th Street between Hill and Broadway. March 1937. Migratory agricultural worker family making tire repairs along California Highway US 99. Cadillac, Flappers, 1927, at the Young Museum, Golden Gate Park. Blizzard 99 cleaning the streets after New York snowstorm. New York, 1911. Sailor Burke. The Brooklyn-born welterweight champion known to his mother as Charles Presser, and someone you wouldn't want to meet in a well-lit alley. New York, 1899. Dumping snow carts at the river after a blizzard. June 20th, 1916. Fall River, Massachusetts. Marion Vieira, 101 Columbia Street, Dufferin Mill. Says he gets $7.74 a week. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Autocar Truck W.A. Smoot Company. July 1923. Hupmobile Barbecue at Sawyer Camp. More than 2,000 Hupmobile owners and their families attended the second annual picnic. Circa 1910. Courthouse, Springfield, Massachusetts. Stephen Lee, February 17, 1952. The latest episode of Minnesota Kodachromes focuses on the youth demographic. (1926) Rotogravure Press, Landman Engraving Company. Printing the Sunday, January 31st, pictorial section of the Washington Post. San Francisco, 1928. Buick sedan at Texaco service station. Jack Tar Hotel site. April 1941. Shoe Shine, 47th Street, Chicago's main Negro business street. December 1936. William Helmke, wife, baby, and brother live in one-room shack on 90-acre farm near Dickens, Iowa, owned by lawyer. San Francisco circa 1922. Doris, touring car at Shreve Company. October 1931. Imperial Airways aircraft refueling at CMAC, British Mandate Palestine. October 8, 1936. H.O. Harrison Pontiac crack salesman and wives going east on Streamliner City of San Francisco. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. HEF and Packard at LLC. National Photo Proprietor Herberti. French in an enormous touring car. (1906) Birmingham, Alabama Jefferson County Courthouse and St. Paul's Church. Brownie at Eldon's, March 16, 1952. The latest episode of Minnesota Kodachromes takes us out to the farm. San Francisco circa 1924. Start touring car with four-wheel brakes. English model and actress known for her appearance